Wow. Good morning, Janine. Here we go again. Yeah, a couple minutes early. I had everything ready to go, and I was standing around here. It's like, well, I'm gonna wait till 11. Or it's like, nah, let's just get it rolling. Hey, buddy. I guess it's Bub D, isn't it? I'm reading it wrong. That's what happens when you read it quickly and try and respond. Probably isn't the first time it's happened, right? Yeah, figured. Got to read with the point of trying to understand before I respond. Good morning, Yvonne. Slow start today because we don't have Rhonda here to pick up the conversation. So that just means you're going to have to carry the slack. Now, it doesn't mean one person has to do it. You can all carry, there's 3 people I've seen post here. You can each carry 1/3 of the slack and it'll be the same. Counting on you, Yvonne. Good morning, Bob. I think maybe we're starting out slow because I started a couple minutes early. It's supposed to be hot today, but we're gonna hopefully get a little rain tomorrow, and they're saying that's gonna bring a cold front through here. And I guess technically their definition of a cold front is it's gonna go from 93 to 88. So, there's like jacket weather here. Hundred and 13, yeah, that's not fun. The little thing on the bottom of the computer says it's 83. I don't know how accurate that is right now, but it's probably about right. Plan to spend most of the day inside though. That's what air conditioning's for, right? You're like all covered with fur, dude. You're just a shedding factory. Yes, you are. He likes that though. Wow. Guess that means it's 11. As you can see, I got them pretty well synchronized. I'm not really making a whole lot more adjustments on the clocks right now because we've gotten to the point where they're pretty close. I think they're about a minute off at the end of a week. So, and I think what ends up happening, the antique clock, the one that's like 130, 140 years old, that one's one of those wind-up clocks. It uses a pendulum, but the pendulum is driven by the spring. And I think as the clock unwinds a little bit, the spring tension drops a little bit, and it loses some time a little bit. Uh, And so I think that's what goes on there. The other two are all completely weight driven. So, whether the weight's close to the top or close to the bottom, it's the same amount of weight. So they tend to stay a little more synchronized. Well, they better be careful at the Trump rally. I heard a couple people like passed out at a rally a couple days ago because of heat exhaustion. So hopefully they've got a little bit more better plans for that. Put my water in the freezer a little bit before I start the live stream, just so that it stays cold for a while. But unfortunately, right at the beginning, you tend to have a lot of ice on it. But I don't know; it's a small price to pay for cold water, right? And it'll melt pretty quick. Yeah, sometimes you got to take steps to take care of yourself. I mean, yeah, going out for a hike on a 113-degree day probably isn't the best idea. I tend to have a little bit more common sense. Well, I think part of what happened at that rally a couple of days ago is people were like outside waiting to get in. Maybe what they need to do is just let people in earlier. We got to remember, Yvonne, common sense isn't so common these days. It's an outside rally. See, that's maybe not the best idea is to plan something, in an area in Phoenix in the middle of summer, outside. That's maybe not the best idea. Gotta get through all the ice here. There's about like a quarter of an inch layer of ice on top of this. Yeah, Vegas, that's another one of those places you don't want to spend outside very much. That's why it's such a good place for gambling, because you don't generally do outside gambling. You won't have to use your hot water tap. That's probably true. Come out of the tap hot. Yeah, well, that's what ends up happening. If the pipes aren't deep enough in the ground, it tends to heat up. There's also a downside to that. Also, if it's not deep into the ground and it gets cold, the pipes can freeze in the ground, and that's another problem. Yeah, I tend to do the same thing, Yvonne. Instead of buying like the single serving bottles of water, I have a 2.5 gallon thing with a spigot on it that I buy, and then when I need it, I just put the glass under it, pull the spigot, pour some water into it, and I'm good to go. Maybe I'm spoiled, but I tend to not drink tap water. Well, a couple times in terms of what's going on at work, a couple times I've in the past couple of weeks it's been me and the other lead has been out, so I get to carry the whole department on my own. That's a little scary. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, it was me and the other lead was out for a vacation for a week, and my boss was out also. So it literally was me carrying the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think there was as much nasty stuff in the water back when we were kids, though, because I remember drinking out of the tap, even out of the hose, when I was a kid. I don't know if I'd want to do that today. Yeah, I suppose it's right, and probably here in Waco, it's probably a little better than maybe it might be in like some big city. I mean, I use tap water for cooking, but I don't generally tend to drink it. Break through the ice here a little bit so we can get at the contents underneath here. Yeah, I know. Somebody else has got to do some talking here. I think it just seems like there's less because Rhonda's usually carrying about 80% of the conversation. I think we might have tripped up people a little bit by me starting early too. Maybe they start listening for the bell at 11 and they didn't hear the bells at 11. So I don't know what I'm going to do for vlogs this week, so I may just do a cooking vlog or something. I don't know. We'll figure out something. I got the display case done now, so well, I guess it depends on what device they're on, Yvonne. Though, if they're on their cell phone, then yeah, they get the alert. But if it's like, if it's on a laptop or a computer and they don't have it on, they might not get the alert and not realize that we're started. Cheesecake sounds good. Brownies are good too. I like brownies. Yeah, you got to have walnuts and brownies. Absolutely. Yeah, I guess I've had them topped with powdered sugar too. I don't usually do that, but that's pretty good, especially still warm right out of the oven. That's the best thing in the world. A big cold glass of milk doesn't get any better than that. You put your walnuts on top of frosting. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, frosting's good on brownies too. I generally tend to do that probably more than the brown sugar. Nothing wrong with brown sugar, powdered sugar. Very, very good. Hi, Tracy. We got a third person in here. I got some salmon in the fridge that I'm going to probably have for dinner tonight. I've been kind of mixing up the recipe. Usually, my marinade for like fish is usually a 50-50 mix of lemon juice and olive oil with a little garlic on top. But what I've been doing lately is doing that, but also putting in like some wasabi and mix it up to kind of get the wasabi to kind of liquefy in the marinade. And oh boy, is that good! See, I'm a sushi fan, so I learned to love wasabi, and wasabi is good on a lot of different things. Hey, Dot, glad to see you here. Starting to get a few people in here. For a while there, it was just Yvonne and Janine that were talking here. It's funny, if when I first read your message, Yvonne, I thought you said, I make chicken breast in broth with broccoli and unsweetened pumpkin, then processed cats. I was like, where do you get processed cats? It just doesn't sound really appetizing to me. No, I got to just proofread my reading. Yeah, see, like I don't really feed my cats table food at all. They get cat food and they do fine with that. I think a lot of times human food isn't the best thing in the world for our pets. We process because they like it pate texture. Okay, very hot lately, Dot. It's supposed to be in the 90s today, I think. I mean, I guess if you're preparing it as a cat food recipe, that's fine. I think the problem with people feeding their pets animal food is they prepare it the way people eat it, and that isn't necessarily healthy for them. Now, the exception is if I open a can of tuna, they'll get a little tuna, but that's very rare. They're to the point where they don't even mooch for food because they know they don't get anything. Yeah, I think you're right. Remember that time a year or two ago, I made a casserole that I think it was a Cajun casserole that had like shrimp in it, and I got the fresh shrimp for the recipe, and the cats each got a shrimp. Nibble wasn't that interested in hers. Bite played with his for a while, but I don't think either of them ate it. No, Nibble comes out during the day, and when I'm at work, and I think she kind of roams around the house at night. But if I'm here, she's not out here very often. Sometimes in the morning when I'm getting up, getting ready for work, she'll be up and about and wandering around. But she doesn't come out here for the live streams very much. She's just very timid about people, I think. She's a quasi kitty. Good morning, Connie. Welcome to the live stream. Frame up the picture a little bit here. Television 101 here. The eyes of the subject are supposed to be about a third of the way down on the screen here. Otherwise, you don't have them framing up. Makes them look little and diminutive if they're too low. And if you chop off their head, that doesn't look good. So I usually say about a third of the way down the screen is where the eyes should be. So, got to follow the rules here. Tomatoes are going to town. I mean, just about all of the tomato plants now are up to the level of the trellis and growing above that right now. So remember, there's two different kinds of tomato plants there. There's the big beefsteak tomatoes and the little cherry tomatoes. The little cherry tomatoes seem to be on larger plants. So, they were all in the back of the garden, the one, closer to the shed, and all of them are well above the platform that I built. And then the beefsteak tomatoes, they're probably about 2/3 of the way to the top. And of course, I showed you a couple weeks ago, I already have one of the beefsteak tomatoes that's growing. It's probably about the size of a tennis ball right now. So it's still green, and I've gotten a couple cherry tomatoes off of the plant already. Love BLTs, yes. Don't make them that much, but I do love BLTs. I think I kind of maybe got out of the habit of it because my mom always used to put like mayonnaise on BLTs, and I kind of got out of mayonnaise. I always thought it was too oily, too greasy. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I had a black lab as a kid. His name was Sambo. I can only imagine how YouTube would respond to that. Part of the reason I tend to not, go beyond G-rated on these channels is because of YouTube and the way they react to things. I mean, there's this big long list of things that you have to agree to before you can, you know, you can't be personally attacking anybody. Well, you can't attack certain people. Apparently, you can't insult certain people. You can't use, you know, certain kinds of language, things that certain people might be offended by. I always love the one that bugs me the most is you can't have show or discuss real or even fake guns. Apparently, that's against their terms of service, and you have to agree that there are none of that. It's just crazy. YouTube is against one particular constitutional right. They don't have a problem with free speech. They don't have a problem with any of the rest of that. But don't you dare talk about guns. I would love to, go to a gun safety training class and vlog that, but there's no way to go get away with that. Jordan even suggested once that I should do something like that, but You can't like anything the left hates. That's against the rules. That's a violation of the terms of service. We want to hear everyone's opinion, but we're shocked and offended by your opinion. Whatever. I'll probably get censored for the Israeli flag there back in the background too. And they're really going to be triggered by my red, white, and blue lights and the American flag behind me on the wall there. I wanted to say nothing about that. I don't know what happens if I accidentally fart. I don't know if I ever accidentally fart. I usually do it on purpose. But even there, I try and, you know, make it silent but deadly rather than really vocal. It's times like that you'll be glad that we don't have smell-o-vision on YouTube. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Tracy. I'll talk about anything. Farts happen. Hey, Bob. Gosh, we're 30 minutes into this already. It's going fast. Guess that's what I get when I start early, huh? Oh, I see bite. There's bite staring at us here. No, I think that is the right spelling for Tempus Fugit. Haven't seen a new Voodoo Ranger out. I kind of stick with the old standards here. There's a couple of them that Voodoo Ranger makes that I like. Yeah, I'm actually pleased with how it turned out. I got it on while the lights and all that running right now. I got it kind of in a color shifting mode, so it's kind of going back and forth between the blue and the green. Looks pretty nice, and it definitely cleared up the tabletop because before that I had all that on there. Yeah, he is. He is so underfed. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. Turned out nice. Like I said, I'm really happy with it. Unfortunately, I'm already to the point where it's almost all full. So we'll figure out, but we can put something on the tabletop again, and that will give me more space. And actually, somebody I think on one of the videos noticed this desk over here that I built a number of years ago when I was in school. I needed a place to do my homework, and I stopped going to school because it just was taking too long, and I wasn't going to get where I needed to go. And then finally decided to pick up and come to Texas, and that was a far better choice for me. And somebody suggested I should maybe repurpose that and convert that into another rock display case. And that's not a bad idea. I'm actually seriously thinking about that because I got the platform for the desk. I could build another shelf in there for that. It's already got the lighting in there. I could even pull the chair out from underneath and put another two shelves under there. That would significantly increase my display options because like I said, that thing's pretty full right now. I got a couple more places, and I could consolidate things a little bit, but what I have on the shelf behind my house, I don't know. Maybe I don't understand what you're talking about. The shelf I have right there, that I built that table at one point, a couple of years ago, and then put the mineral display case underneath that. But I could put stuff up on top if I wanted to. Like I said, I'm seriously considering retrofitting that desk into uh, some more display space. Well, my garage is my woodworking shop. Plenty of room in there if I pull the car out. And honestly, the garage is kind of laid out in such a way where I maximize the available space once I get the car out, and get the tools that I use, the big power tools that I use, spread around the garage. I have probably 80% of the garage space available to me. So no, I don't think I've seen anything like that, Yvonne. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, it came out nice. I'm really pleased with it. I like how well it matches the table because it almost looks like it's the same thing, and in reality, it is. It's they're both made out of oak, and it's both stained with the same stain. So looks nice. I'm happy with it. Yeah, I mean, I've never really, I kind of build stuff for myself, you know, or for friends or something. You remember I made that little shadow box thing with the sand and the seashells that we got with when we went to my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary about 10 years ago now, I guess. My understanding, my mom was buried with that, so that's kind of cool. I mean, there's a bunch of like consignment type places around here that I bet you if I wanted to, I could get some of my stuff into that. I mean, that Cameron Trading Company that I've gone to a couple times, I think I showed that at least once in a video. That's a consignment place. That antique shop I went to in what's the next town up? No, whatever. When I got my first piece of uranium glass, that was a consignment shop. There's a lot of that around here. Even that Spice Village place that I've shown you once or twice, that's also a consignment shop. So I mean, if I really got into that, I suppose I could, rent some space in one of those places and see what happened. Am I done buying rocks? Not by a long shot. No, the uranium glass hasn't been terribly expensive. I mean, I'm not going to probably buy much more of that, if any more. I just wanted to have a few pieces because my first thought is like, oh wow, that's really cool. I mean, I think those little teacups I got those for like $2.50 a piece. Yeah, the uranium glass really pops under the black light. Right now, I don't have the black light on, but I got the remote here so I can turn it on, and you really see how it pops in there. It's in the right side of that upper right quadrant there. You see how it's glowing under the black light versus being turned off. So yeah, it looks really great under those UV black light tube things I got. It was that one big quartz crystal. I'll show it. I've shown it to you before. I'll go get it and show you. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff I've been getting lately is more expensive, and that's just kind of how it works. But this is a two-hander here. This is my most expensive piece here. That thing weighs about 20 pounds. It's about the size of a basketball. But second I saw that thing, I had to have that. And I got that at that rock show. I paid $500 for that. So, but I've never seen a quartz cluster that big. So yeah, I just love how clear and crystal it is. I mean, I can see the camera, I can see the monitor all the way through it. So yeah, that's definitely a cool piece. And it's funny, that was one that the people at Gallery 11 actually recommended me for. That guy, like I said, I got it at that Rock and Mineral show about a month ago, and I contacted them ahead of time. Actually, I'll show you that one too. They had this piece in the shop for a while, and I'd really been intrigued by it and really kind of wanted it. So when the show came up, I said, you know what? I'm going to the show. I'm coming with money and I want to buy it. If you still have this piece, bring it with you and I'll probably take it off your hands. And they said, we still got it. We'll bring it. And then they followed up and says, oh, and by the way, I got something else I want to show you. And it was that piece. And I took that one home with me too. So, yep, I like my rocks. Matches the ones in my head. But yeah, that's a really beautiful piece. You don't really pick up on it, but that's really a pink color. And then there's this bright kind of green piece right there, right in the middle of it. So uh, that was a really nice piece. Like I said, I took a picture of that one on my phone a few weeks earlier, and you know I just kept looking at it. Oh man, I got to have that. I got to have it. Unfortunately, they hadn't sold it. And in fact, there's a they're really good at kind of pegging the things that they know that I'm going to like. And so they were off picking up some more rocks recently, and they sent me some pictures of some things that they think I'm going to like. And I told them, yeah, I want that. Yeah, I would like to at least look at that. They're to the point now where, you know, they can get things on consignment. And so if they have something, you know, they'll send me pictures of it and, and say, hey, are you interested in any of this? And you know, if you want, we can bring it back to the shop and you can look at it. And actually, let me show you some of this stuff here that I'm looking to get here. I like the fact that that YouTube has this new feature where I can cut away to screens here. It's a cool little feature. So, all right, so let's cut away to that. Had to call up the screen here. Okay. So these are some of the pieces here that they showed me. I really like this piece here and think I want to get that one. You know, they're all really nice, and I'd like to probably have all of them. But you know, I told them I can't afford everything. That's something that they showed me they thought I'd like, and that's really kind of cool too. Look at that thing. That thing's probably like 18 inches tall, and that'd be really cool too. But you know, I'm to the point where I've got a whole bunch of quartz pieces, and I don't want to just have, you know, dozens and dozens of the same thing. But that is still pretty cool. That's another angle of the same piece. Look at the stand that came with that thing too. How awesome is that? That's what I like. Yeah, that's her cell phone on the side of it there, just so you can see how big this thing really is. That's a kind of a cool piece that they found that I thought I might like. This is definitely something I want to look at. So I asked them to bring this back to the shop. That thing, you know, I'm assuming that this table that it's sitting on, you know, down here, I'm assuming that that piece is probably 3/4 of an inch thick. So that thing is probably the size of a basketball. But look at that thing. How cool is that? And that's something that they found that's really cool. Um, you know, but probably not something I'll end up going with on this one. Look at that thing too. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that custom stand. Looks like they took a piece of like driftwood or something like that, shaped it and polished it and smoothed it out and probably stained it. The stand is probably worth as much as the rock is. And let's see. And then they found this piece here. I'm going to show you this. Look at that thing. So I'm definitely going to probably pick that up and probably get the other two things. And yeah, that's $400 what they're asking for on that. But that thing's gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that thing awesome? And let's see, I think they had pictures of this. This is something else that they showed me here that I thought was really cool. Another big quartz cluster. That thing's about the size of a bowling ball. Look, it's taking her 2 hands to hold the thing up. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of quartz though, so let's see. So there's that piece, and they showed, let's see, they gave me a video of each of the pieces here. See, this is the one I'm very seriously thinking about. That's pretty cool. Don't like so much that one's flat and shaped on the back and all that. It looks like they cut that in half, and I don't know. I'm not as much a fan of when they do that, but look at the pits in that thing and the holes inside that thing with all the crystals in that. That thing's gorgeous. Let's see here. Oh, and then this is the other thing I'm seriously thinking about picking up. That's look at that thing. Isn't that cool? So I may very well come home with all of those today. Definitely going down there. So, yeah. Let's see what I missed here while I was cut away here. Yeah, they are pretty expensive, but see, that's I think part of when I got the bonus at work and the promotion, there's a little bit more income now for me, and so I can afford to kind of pursue my interests at this point. Yeah, you're right, John. I may have to dedicate a whole room. It might be when I lose the cats that maybe the cat room will turn into my raw mineral display room. Already got the shelves in there, right? I need an intervention. Yeah, you're right. You like the first black one. Let's see, we'll go back here. See, oh, I think you're probably, let's see, the first black one I showed. Let's see, are you talking about? Oops, talking about that one or that one? Because that's almost kind of a gray. This one on the other hand is more of a greenish color. Hey Jeff, Deeps and Rocks. Yeah, there you go. 2 favorite things in the world. The first one. Okay, yeah, I like the first one too. I'm probably gonna take that one home with me. I'm gonna have to see what they want for it. I know that one that they specifically said that I would be interested in. I know what that one's going to cost. I don't know what the other two are going to cost. So we'll have to figure that out. But fortunately, this was a really good paycheck this week. It was a great paycheck, by the way, because it was Memorial Day, and so I get paid like triple time for working on Memorial Day. And it was actually 2 days worth because the office staff got both Friday and Monday off. And I worked on Friday, so I get triple time on Friday, Plus, I get 8 hours of regular time pay on Monday, and I didn't have to work for that. So it was a really nice paycheck this time, and so when I saw that, I said, "Well, definitely going to Gallery 11." But yeah, Lindex, I like that green one too. That's sort of the reason why you don't ever see me really pushing for money here. I'm doing all right. If I can go out and buy $500 rocks, I'm doing fine. I have some pyrite. Yeah. Let's see. Someone else said, "Do I have any galena?" I don't have any galena. I don't think. No. Yeah, it's definitely a better type of rock. There's far more dangerous kinds of rock that you can buy. Ask Hunter Biden. I have to look that up. I do have a couple of pieces of pyrite. Yeah, that was a crack joke, Yvonne. Yeah, I'm guessing she is working today. She would usually have popped in by now. We've been lucky to have her for a number of weeks straight, and so it doesn't really surprise me that much. Okay, I'm looking at galena here, and it isn't. It's similar to pyrite, but not entirely. That's what I thought. I thought it wasn't exactly. Just bring up the picture. See, that's a piece of galena right there. And I could understand how people might confuse the two, but pyrite is a little bit more cubic. Let me show you the couple pieces of pyrite I have. Yeah, see, this is one of the oldest pieces of pyrite that I have. I've had this since I was a kid, and so when finally got the case this built, I decided to finally pull it out of the box and put it in there. But that's what pyrite is, and then this is a piece of pyrite I got just recently, which I really like. It's got bigger crystals on it, and there's actually some little quartz crystals that you might be able to see in there, which is kind of cool. I've never seen pyrite with quartz in it before. So that was kind of a cool little piece. But yeah, that's pyrite. Sometimes it's known as fool's gold. Galena is a little different. Although I gotta admit, I don't necessarily know, all of the different minerals and what they look like. Yeah, I know. This one's cool, isn't it, Yvonne? I just, this is one I saw at Gallery 11. I had to pick it up. I just loved it because it had the big crystals in there. So yeah, that's a pretty one. I had a pet rock back in the 70s. I don't know what happened to it. They're probably related to Yvonne. I don't know though. Yeah, I could definitely see how somebody could mistake that for fool's gold. It's even heavy like gold, but this is more got more of a silver color than a gold color. Yeah, I'm definitely a frequent customer, and so they often offer me deep discounts on things. This piece, for instance, I know that I basically got it for what they paid for it. So because it turned out that there was at that rock and mineral show I went to, there was an exhibitor that was right across the aisle from Gallery 11's shop, and that was the source of that. And they had that shop had given it to Gallery 11 on consignment, and so basically all Gallery 11 had to do is, put it on the, walk across the aisle with it. And so they just gave it to me at cost. And so I got a good discount on that. And other pieces I know I've gotten well below their asking price for. That's the advantage of being a frequent customer. I go back and I spend a lot of money at that place. And they know that and they appreciate that and they take care of me. And that's part of the reason I like the place is because they have a lot of interesting things. They know what I like and they get me really good prices. I'm astounded at some of the prices I get from them sometimes. Yeah, it's a pretty massive collection. In fact, it's interesting. Um, Over at Gallery 11, Kara, one of the co-owner of the place, has said, "Hey, if you ever want to get rid of this stuff, we'll buy it back." No, I wish Gallery 11 would have a website. I know somebody at one point from here contacted them and bought something over the mail, but I don't think they really do a whole lot. They did at one point do what they called flash sales, where you'd subscribe to their channel and they'd just put stuff up that you could buy, and you just say, "Hey, I want it. I'll send you money, ship it to me." But they didn't do a whole lot of that. But I bet you if you contacted them, they would they would probably, say, "Hey, I'm looking for something. Definitely mention me because they know who I am, and tell them you're looking for something, and maybe they can find it for you." I got them looking for things for me too. Get some brimstone from the Jordanian desert. That's awesome. Here, I'll show you some of the things they were selling on the flash sales page. So, like I said, Gallery 11 is a husband and wife team. It's Chris and Kara, and Kara is kind of the rock person, and Chris is a jeweler. And so that's a piece, a custom piece he made. That's for the rubies and stuff like that. Um, that's a nice piece of quartz they had in the shop. I don't know if anyone ever actually picked that up. Look at that piece. Like I said, I generally don't go after things like that because that's shaped and polished. I like it more of its natural form, but that's a piece of what they call ocean jasper, and that's a pretty pricey piece. That was $275, but that was from Madagascar. I don't know if anyone ever took that one. And these are some like lamps that they have, which are kind of cool. A Septarian egg. I've got one of those, not that one. I don't know if they ever sold that one. What do they call that? A quartz and amethyst wand. That was kind of cool. Another wand. A lot of the stuff they were selling was shaped and stuff like that. I'm not really into that. Some nice knives with turquoise handles. They got a few things like that. Look at that piece. That's an amethyst piece. Once again, it's sliced in half, so I'm not really into that. I like mine more natural looking. That's kind of cool. What is that? A selenite? Yeah, I'm not going to go there. They got some kind of phallic shaped things too. I'm not really into that as much. I don't know. I think they go for a lot of the like hippie type things too. But let's see. But yeah, this is the shop here if you're interested. It's called Gallery 11 Crystals and Jewelry, and that's the shop right there from the outside. It's just on Austin Avenue. But feel free to go check out the site if you're on Facebook, and let them know what you're interested in. They might find something for you. But look at the stuff they got in there. Like I said, I did a vlog in there once and got some really, really cool things. They got a lot of really neat stuff. Those are those floor lamps that they've been suddenly into. They go to like a wholesaler. It's another one of those floor lamps. That's their dog Lucy. She's always in the shop. But yeah, definitely worth taking a look. Oh yeah, they got a little bit of a UV display case too. I always go in there with my UV light. And that's Chris doing some of his jewelry work. Like I said, he's been in it for a long time, so he does custom jewelry. That's Chris and Kara right there. Very nice couple. They do little beads and bracelets too. Like I said, a lot of jewelry and stuff. There's that ring again. So that's a piece of vanadinite. I have a piece of that. A lot of the stuff is the same stuff over and over. A lot of the pictures, the same stuff. But definitely, if you're on Facebook, go check them out. Yeah, I think it's. I think the address is 1819 Austin Avenue. I think is the. It's Austin Avenue, and I think it is about 18th 18th Street. Yeah, it's a good thing I'm not into jewelry. You're right. But if you feel like it, become friends with them on Facebook, and tell them you're a friend of me, and maybe they'll find something for you. Yeah, the lamps are really nice. That's something that just showed up recently. They've you know I think I saw them pop up in the shop maybe 4 or 5 months ago. They found those and they've just been getting those left and right. They don't have a website now. Are you saying I'm not carrying my load, Spaniel Mom? Haven't seen Dr. Susan for a while. You're right. I'm just teasing you, Spaniel Mom. I don't know if they'd be able to ship the lambs. One of the things I've heard them say is that they're very, very fragile. So that would almost be one of those things you'd almost have to go to the store and pick up. I think probably just about anything else, though, they might be able to help you with. Like I said, I know one of my viewers contacted them once and bought something through the mail. I don't know. I hope I'm not getting in trouble with them because maybe they don't want to do that. But Darth is usually here pretty much every week. Sometimes he just pops in later. Yeah, I haven't seen Eric yet either. Yeah, I do like to, promote businesses I like. You know me, I'm vicious with companies that treat me badly, like Lowe's or Pods, but I'm equally generous with people, who I think are good businesses I want to promote. And Gallery 11 is one of them. I also like that Heritage watch and clock shop. They've done some really great work for me. Haven't heard from Jordan in a while. Like I said, I just hope I'm not getting in trouble with them because maybe they don't want to do a mail order kind of thing. I don't know. I'll probably tell them what I did today when I go down there, and if they don't want to do it, then don't give them any headaches about it. But yeah, maybe they will. I know they did it at least once. They may charge you for shipping and handling and that kind of stuff. And if you get something big like this, they're gonna probably charge you a lot to ship you that. But oh, I'm sure he's fine. He's still producing videos, so he's out there. You trying to get a lamp, huh? Yeah, like I said, that's one of the things that they're leery about because they're very fragile, and I don't know how they ship those. And I think they're a little pricey too. They aren't cheap. Well, I mean, yeah, the shipping charges on that piece of crystal are probably going to be pretty extreme, but the cost of that crystal was pretty extreme too. Yeah, I think especially they got some of those lamps that are probably like 4 or 5 feet tall, and those are in the thousands, I'm sure. I still really want to go to Yellowstone. I think my next trip, that's where I want to go. And I got to start getting serious about taking some vacation time because if I don't use it at the end of the year, I get paid out for it, and then I don't have it next year. Now, one of the downsides of the job has been that we do these maintenance intervals twice a year, and during that time, your hours go to zero, and so a lot of times people burn up their vacation, covering for the lack of income because they don't work for 2 weeks during those maintenance intervals. Well, they're changing the way that's going to work. in the future. And that will help me a lot because what they want to do, like I said, when they're shutting down the facility, they don't need most of the workers. But last couple of times they've done these maintenance intervals, they've not been able to get everything done that they need to do. So what they're talking about doing now is finding people who have mechanical skills, and hey, I can do that, and they know I can do that, and so I could probably pick up some maintenance interval hours that would help with the cost, and so I wouldn't have to burn up my vacation time. And so maybe that would be an option because I would enjoy going in and doing some mechanic stuff. I'm already getting to the point where a lot of times in my job, there's a problem on one of the lines, and I'm on the line before the mechanic is many times. And a lot of times, I know enough about the machines now where I can figure out what the problem is. I mean, that just happened yesterday. There was a problem on one of the lines, and the mechanic was looking at it, and I said, "Hey, Michael, come over here. I think I see what the problem is." And I pointed at it, and I said, "Yeah, one of those sensors is showing that the cylinder is in both positions." He says, "Yeah, you're right. Go in there and jiggle that connection." And I jiggled the connection, and it worked. So, I definitely know a lot about that. And the mechanics know I know a lot about the machines. So they're always teaching me more. So, that's awesome. Yeah, no, they don't really do that. That is a downside. It's not really been an issue that much for me in the future because I was always able to get some hours by, coming in and doing stuff. But last time, because I was a lead, I only got like one day during the whole time. Now I took vacation time, and that was when I went out and did the visit to Johnson Space Center in Houston, and also the Dazed and Confused vlog. Because I just went out and did a couple day road trip. No, it is not a union shop. Thank God. Yeah, that's exactly what I need to do. I need to set up a GoFundMe uh, page for all the rocks I want to buy. I think you can basically set up any GoFundMe thing you want. Because I've known a bunch of people that have done it, so it can't be that hard. But the truth is, that's another one of those things that I would kind of tend to shy away, from just because, with things like this, I'm doing good money wise. I don't really need people to be sending me things. Not that I don't appreciate it when it happens, but it's not even a minor part of this vlog. I don't do the vlog to make money. I do it because I kind of get a kick out of doing it. Yvonne needs a new car. All right, let's set up a GoFundMe site for her. Well, I think there's a good, yeah, I'm kind of with you, Yvonne, but I think there's sometimes there's a good reason for the GoFundMe sites. If it's just hey, I want money, send me money, that's one thing. But, a lot of times what people do is that, somebody's had some sort of a tragedy or have, got dumped on with huge medical expenses or some sort of a disaster, and in their house or in their neighborhood or something like that. That's a good way of doing that, and I think it's a good thing about that. But yeah, you know, help support my rock collection. No, no, not doing that. I mean, it's clear that this channel is not about the money. If it was, I would stop doing it because I don't make that much money. It really comes down to it. I make maybe $1 an hour for the videos I produce. Rocks Anonymous. Yeah, exactly. Help support my rock addiction. I'd probably do that, except for the fact that Hunter Biden probably already has that one. Yep, I went there. That whole family is kind of creepy. I mean, Joe with all his hair sniffing and child fondling. I don't know. That guy's just creepy. Yeah, right. You're right, Spaniel Mom. You are absolutely dead on. Yeah, I don't even want to go into some of the disgusting things I've heard about that guy. No, I haven't decided on the pool yet. Yeah, that's how I look at it too, Tracy. I get other things out of this. I enjoy, doing this. It's helped me build my confidence a little bit. I mean, you watch that first couple videos I did. I had a real deer in the headlights kind of thing. I got 1,000 videos under my belt, 300 live streams. I'm just more comfortable on camera now, and it's helped me in my personal life too. I don't know. I don't know if I'm really into the dating site scene. Might be too old to get with somebody at this point. I think I'm just too used to being by myself right now. We're kind of in the same place with the cabinet as last week or last time we talked about it. I've had three people come in with to come and look at the thing. The first guy I really had high hopes for. He gave me kind of a verbal quote, which was kind of in the ballpark of what I was expecting to spend, and but then he never followed up with a written quote. And I called him a few days later and said, "Hey, still haven't gotten a written quote from you." And he never, he said, "Oh yeah, I'll get one off to you today," and never happened. So I guess he's not interested. The second person came in with a bid that was so low that I got concerns about that. And then the third one is trying to get me to move away from Home Depot to go to her cabinet person. And I'm concerned about that because I don't know anything about that cabinet person. What happens if I'm not happy with what I got, all that nonsense. And so I don't know. I'm going to maybe bring her back in and maybe because one of the things I don't know what they have on their with their cabinets. Like I said, it's a wooden cabinet, and then they're apparently painting it versus the ones that have kind of a laminate coating on them that you get from Home Depot. The thing I have a concern about is, what do I do if I'm not happy with the quality of the cabinets? At least with Home Depot, I have a history with them. And that history is of them doing the right thing when things didn't work out right. And every time, I'm not going to say that every experience I've ever had with Home Depot was perfect, but they've always tried to make it right when things didn't go right. uh, in my old house in California, I decided at one point to remodel the shower in the master bedroom. um, when they built it, they built the surround with these tile pieces, and the tile pieces kept cracking, and because it was on the second floor of the house, and of course the wood frame houses tend to flex a little bit, when you walk on them, and that flexing causes the grout in between the tiles to break, and the water would get in there and start leaking into the garage downstairs. So I decided after 5 or 6 times of trying to get them to, do the same thing and hope for a different result, I just gave up on them, and I went to Home Depot and asked them to do it, to remodel the shower, and they had some new material that they were working with that they were really excited about. They talked me into doing it, and somewhere in between when I made the order and when the thing was due to be installed, they called me and said, "Hey, we've installed some of this stuff. We haven't been really, haven't had really good quality with it, and we don't really recommend it anymore. And so we're going to kind of take this mid-level stuff that you ordered, and we're going to upgrade you for free to marble." And so I ended up with a marble shower and bathroom in my master bathroom. That was how Home Depot took care of me when things didn't work right. I don't have any experience with this other company. They might be good too, but I'm not really sure that about this company. I don't know anything about them, and I don't know what happens. If if it doesn't work out. So I don't know. I kind of want to stick with the company I know, and I think I'm going to bring this third contractor back in and say, are you willing to do just the install even if I don't go to your cabinet maker? And if so, can you give me a bid for that? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Wow, we got a contact here who's got who's a couple degrees separated from the Bidens. That's that's trippy. You never know who's going to pop up here. Yeah, so if you've had contact with them, you still can't stomach them. I don't understand how, even when Biden had his marbles, I can't understand how anyone ever supported that guy. He's a racist, he's a liar, he's a plagiarizer. He's whatever he has to be at the time to get what he wants. And he's just stealing from the country. I think I've seen you pop up once or twice in here, Stony. Have you ever commented before? Because I seem to remember the name. He plagiarized JFK too. I mean, there was a scandal at one point where he was running for president in the past, and and they found out he plagiarized something, and that destroyed his candidacy. Yeah, there's times, Yvonne. I'm glad I don't have TV. Well, except for the goldsmith part, it sounds like you and I have a lot in common. I do some model railroading a little bit too, and I love space stuff. Astronomy was one of the first things I was ever into in my life. I think I was like in the third grade, and there was like a book fair at school, and my parents said I could get a book, and I picked out a book on astronomy. I still have it too. It's the binding is completely coming apart, and you have to give me some advice on the trains here. I'd really like to build like a village, like and do that, but I'm not really sure where to start on that. That's really cool. Yeah, you need to chime in more, Stony, if you're here. Sounds like we'd have some fun conversations together. You're actually in the railroading and model railroading business. That's cool. See, there's a hobby town here that recently expanded, and I guess it's one of the largest hobby towns, I guess, in the country now. But they still have like nothing with trains. I was hoping that they do it. Oh, we're losing Gene to church here. That always seems to happen about this time. Have a good day, Gene. I'll see you next time. Design and laser cut building kits. Is that for the trains, I assume? See, I never thought of laser cutting the pieces. But then again, I usually just get the little built models that you glue together and paint. And actually, a lot of that, all of that, for the most part, is stuff that my viewers sent me. Not a fan of trains, huh? I guess as long as they're staying on the track, I'm all right with them. Or if I can go look at them after they come off the track. Remember, I did that a couple of years ago when that train derailed, 50 miles from here? I still have that piece of charcoal. See you, Tracy. Great grandfather was a train conductor. That's pretty cool. I'm enjoying learning the history of this part of Texas. That's one of the things I love about doing the vlogging is I get to learn all this stuff. I've even gotten to be a part of. It's interesting. You had a trauma at 3, and it kind of you blocked it out until your 30s. Yeah, that's rough. I can't even imagine that. So I'm guessing you're not going to be going on any train journeys in the future, right? Wow, it's strange how the human mind works. I mean, I guess if you're a kid and see one up close, they're big, they're loud. I guess I could understand how that could traumatize someone. Huh, that's weird. Interesting. I heard that they made it up. I also heard it made it back down, which is very cool. Being in Texas, Elon Musk is a big thing. Just the ones at Disneyland's, Lindex. No problem with a BART, huh? Interesting. That's right. I went to up at where was it? One of the parks up in Los Angeles. Jordan and I went there once. I think that was when we met one of the creators of some of the rides at Disneyland. I don't remember what his name is right now, but That was up at a park that was near, where Walt used to hang out. In fact, the carousel there is the one that inspired the carousel at Disneyland. Um, and there was a little miniature steam train going around the property there. We rode that. That was very cool. Oh, that's pretty cool, Stony. Carolwood, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, and do you remember the guy's name? I don't remember what his name is. I got a picture with him and everything. But he was the guy that like created the Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. And say I always block out on that, and that's part of the reason I like this group is because this group always remembers the things that I forget. Random Land guy, oh man, I haven't watched him in a long time. What's that? Justin Scar? Is that Random Land? I haven't watched him in a long time. Yeah, he always, I don't know, his jump cuts and his quick edits and stuff like that always kind of annoyed me. Adam the Woo is another one I kind of got over. I don't know. Anybody watch Adam the Woo anymore? I mean, I met Adam once. He's a nice guy. As a former Disney employee, though, I think he's too Disney obsessed. There's just people like that who really are Disney obsessed, and there are a bunch of them that work there. I mean, Disney is the greatest thing ever. It's like, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, if he's really into it and he's got people watching him, then more power to him. He's definitely making a comfortable living doing that. But when I worked at Disney, I could get into the park anytime I wanted for free, and even sign in friends a lot. And I got to the point where it's like, okay, how many times can I ride Pirates of the Caribbean? And first summer or so when I had that, I'd go 2, 3, 4 nights a week. I'd go after, especially if it was a night I wasn't working, I'd go in and hang out at the park for a few hours. But by the end, I'd go 1 or 2 times a year, and it was only because somebody else wanted to go. Usually it was Jordan. Or my sister or kids would be in town or something like that. And I haven't watched Adam in a long time though. I don't even know what he does anymore. I just heard it was a lot of Disney there for a while. I don't know if he's still doing that. His views have tanked. Yeah, like I said, I don't really follow him that much anymore. And he was making so much money though. He probably, he could, if he is at all wise in saving his money and investing, he's probably set for life. Never heard of Troll Patrol. Hey, Brock, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. And you're not too late. We got about 15 more minutes to go. What are you talking about? Like Fast Pass at Disney? I mean, I know that they had like VIP, passes that you get if you're like a celebrity or something like that. You'd get your own Disney ambassador that would get you the front of the line on all the rides and take you around the park backstage, so you didn't have to face the crowds and stuff. Yeah, I've never even heard of it. But then again, I'm not really somebody that goes around YouTube looking for things to look at. And the nice thing about the fast passes at Disney is you didn't have to pay for them. You could just go to the fast pass distribution center, scan your ticket, and they'd give you a fast pass, and you'd come back at a certain time and get in there. But you could only have one active fast pass at a time. So it's not like you could say, okay, I'm going to go get a fast pass here and a fast pass there and a fast pass there, and we'll go from ride to ride to ride to ride to ride. No, you could only have one active at a time. But yeah, it didn't censor it, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, Yvonne. You're already paying like $200 to get in. Now you got to pay more for getting on the rides. It's going back to the old days when you had to buy tickets to get onto the rides. Yeah, I find myself in agreement with you, Stony. It was getting bad when I was there, and it's just gotten worse. Disclaimers in front of this movie, their movies now. It says, well, this doesn't movie doesn't fit with our progressive viewpoints anymore. So we're going to warn you that you might be offended by this. Yeah. All I can say is I got out of that place at the right time. I got out of California at the right time. Holy cow! I can't imagine living there now. I'd probably be homeless. I couldn't afford it because I wasn't making enough to support myself on Disney. I am in so much a better situation now. Yeah, you're right, Yvonne. Oh, me too. Me too. I love roller coasters. I used to be terrified of them as a kid, but because I was always afraid the thing was going to jump the track. And one time I was kind of looking at the Matterhorn of all things when my family was at Disneyland, and I looked at it and said, "Okay, well, there's wheels on top of the track, there's wheels on the side of the track, and there's wheels underneath the track. There's no way that thing's coming off." And at that point, I got on, rode that for the first time, and I've been a roller coaster fanatic ever since. I know California is such a beautiful place. There's like every kind of environment there. You can go to the mountains, you can go to the desert, you can go to the beach. It's beautiful there. Some very beautiful national parks. Yosemite is amazing. If you ever get a chance to go there, but I've heard of Cedar Point in Iowa or Ohio. There's a few like because I used to watch like documentaries about different kinds of the best roller coasters or the best theme parks and stuff like that. Oh, I'd love to go visit Alaska sometime. Isn't Rubio's going out of business? Did I hear that? Yeah, I've been to Rubio's a few times. It was good food. A lot of it's coming from California though, and their insistence now that fast food places pay their people 20 bucks an hour. Yeah, that's too bad. There's so many businesses we've lost in the last few years. And some of it was because of Biden, some of it was because of what happened with COVID. I know I've never understood the logic of that. Hey, let's boost the minimum wage to employees to help them, and then that drives the business out of business, and now those employees are making nothing. Were they better off making 12 or 14 bucks an hour, or are they better off unemployed? Many of them are not being able to survive in California anymore. Yeah, you're right there. I mean, you're right. It wasn't necessarily about COVID, but the government's reaction to COVID, or some might say overreaction. That was another reason why I was really lucky during, with this move to Texas because, I was in an industry that was deemed essential. So, I didn't lose any money on that. A lot of people were not as lucky as I was. A lot of people lost their jobs because of COVID. I actually did better because I got hazard pay for going in there for a while. I don't know. I don't know what the next road trip vlog would be. I mean, like I said, I'd love to go to Yellowstone, and that would definitely be a road trip. Maybe one of those things where I take 3 days off of work. And the beauty is, I have I'm 3 days on and 3 days off, and then 4 days on, 4 days off. So if I take my 3 day, uh, take a 3 day week off, I got my 4 days before it and 3 days after it. So I take 3 days off, I get 10 days off. Yeah, Alaska's a huge place. A lot of people don't get it because get how big Alaska is because usually on a map of Alaska, if it isn't like a map of the planet, Alaska will be separated from the continental United States, right next to Hawaii, and it's scaled down significantly. A lot of people don't understand that Alaska is half the size of the continental United States. California to like Ohio almost in size. It's a massive place. It is. It is absolutely huge. I mean, I make a big deal about Texas being huge, but Texas is a pea size compared to Alaska. But Alaska is such a beautiful place. And I think one of the things that would make Alaska really attractive for me as a place to go is that there just aren't that many people there. And so you can go for, a long ways and not run into anybody. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Texas is only the second largest state in the union now. And even that is, they say, side to side, one end to the other end, it's longer to go from the eastmost part of Texas to the westmost part of Texas than it is to go from Texas to Los Angeles. Because I know when I came back from California in January, it took me, you know, 10 hours from when I hit the Texas border to get home. And that's just to the middle of Texas. Yeah, it's a big place. All right, must be coming close to the end here. That's the end of my water. Yeah, I have a map of the Earth, and that really shows how big Alaska really is. Well, we're not going to pull the plug yet. We'll go for a few more minutes, but if Gene has to check out, then so be it. Yeah, yeah, I bet you Russia wants it back. A lot of oil in Alaska. No, I can't really blame them. I'd probably want it back too. Well, Putin wants most of Eastern Europe back too. Ukraine is just the beginning. He's talking about getting Sweden and Finland and all that back too. Yeah, just another reason to dump Dementia Joe here. It tends to do that to me too, Yvonne. Oh, I was trying to figure out what the 10% reference is. I get it now. Sorry, I'm a little slow sometimes picking up on that. 10% for the big guy. You got on because someone brought up the Bidens. We'll have to do that more. Yeah, we're gonna pull the plug on this one pretty soon, Stony. But definitely come back. You contributed to this live stream a lot. You need to, if you're on here, you need to pipe on a little bit more often here. Let us hear from you because you steered the live stream into some interesting directions. Well, there's something wrong with that whole family. I mean, shame on Jill Biden, Jill, his wife, for even letting Joe run. Obviously, her ego and all that is more important than the health of her husband. Joe shouldn't be anywhere. He should be in a dementia ward. She needs to be looking after him, not letting him humiliate himself and the country in front of the whole world. No, well, I mean, I have a personal Facebook, but there is a Escaping the Mouse Facebook page. So check it out, Stony. Yeah, subscribe to it, and we'll make you a member. I have pulled with a moderator. Being the administrator and all that. Well, at this point, I mean, I don't know if they even want to put Joe on trial because he's not fit to stand trial. Yeah, that whole family is just a real piece of work. Dr. Jill, yeah, right. Exactly. Okay, well, always like to end on a positive note. So I'm going to pull the plug on this one. I got some rocks to buy. So, uh, check in next week. I had a good time today, and we'll try this again next week. Oh, you like the flag too? That's great. All right, yeah, I've had the flag up off and on for the past, basically since October. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna pull the plug on this one. Thanks for stopping in. Check out the Escaping the Mouse page, Stony, and definitely come back next time. We had a good time. Thanks, everyone. Good night.